Michael Jackson is in Kansas City and ready to kick off the first American leg of his world tour.
Michael has a very special bond with his supporting cast. He personally recruited each of them.
John Clark. I played rhythm guitar on the tour.
Except for your leads.
Yeah.
I'm Dopey. I'm the littlest munchkin. No, Dory and Holly, vocalist in the band.
Big stuff for me.
Well, you know who's behind it.
Oh yeah, Greg Fillingane's, you know, the head plumber.
Dorian, just
Hi.
We already got him.
Yes, you got me ready, you know.
He's just speaking.
Yeah, I'm just in here because, yeah.
Just for the shot.
Yeah, for the shot, and yes, keyboards and stuff.
Ricky Lawson on drums. Ricky Lawson, and I played drums.
Good.
Jennifer Batten on guitar. You didn't like that one?
You have to lick your finger.
Jennifer Batten on guitar.
Roy Kaplan and keyboards.
It was just amazing, and I think all of us were kind of stunned at how much we forgot how it was. I mean, it's only been 25 years, but it was just really beautiful. What a beautiful tribute.
And it's amazing how much Michael gave to his audiences and to us as you know, participants in the situation. And you know, it's just amazing to see him give his heart, give all that he had, you know, and to be a part of that was just phenomenal.
Michael treated us, and we all treated each other like family, you know, and it really was a family on tour. It was, there was never individuals in this group, ever. I was always a family, and Michael treated us in that fashion as well. Everybody on the tour was just amazing. And looking at the video tonight, it's a little overwhelming because it was just beautiful. Everybody in that, I think Michael raised our abilities sky high more than we thought possible when we walked out first. So it showed tonight.
He auditioned about 100 guitar players, and luckily it was on videotape. So we, instead of having him there going, impress me, next, we just did our thing on video, and for me, I got a call 3 or 4 days later that he was interested and come down play with the band and see how it goes. And I played with the band for 2 months. Nobody ever told me I had the gig, and all of a sudden I had a passport and a trip to Tokyo.
A passport?
Wow. For the record, in the band, Jennifer was the first one Michael called and actually said, Jennifer's got the gig. She's going to Beverly Hills, contacts, she's got the gig.
Yeah. Well, how come he didn't tell me?
He was a little different like that. I mean,
Right.
you know, we were working on the album, and we'd be in the studio, and every once in a while he'd go, "You like to perform, right?" You go, "Yeah." You enjoy playing live, right? You go, "Yeah, it's a lot of fun." This would go on for several days. You enjoy the live experience, right? I go, "Yeah, I do." And then one time he asked me, you know, one too many times, and I finally figured out, oh, you want me to tour with you? I said, well, why didn't you just say so? And I ended up being hired almost last as the music director. I'm like, well, then who am I gonna? Oh, they're all here. Okay, so. Yeah.
We kept hearing rumors about Greg, but you know, we still went through the process of auditioning every keyboard in LA player. And one day Greg came walking in and says, "Hey guys, I'm here."
Yep.
And we just all flipped out, and it was an immediate family. And then we got to.
I'll never forget that day. That was the day Jennifer. We were talking about her moment of when she knew it was a big time, and you know, as an aspiring session guy, subbing for everybody on the planet. But I knew all these guys. I knew Ricky, because I studied records. And I knew Greg. I knew Ricky. When Greg Fillinganes walked in the room, I went, okay, now it's big time. I don't care if it's one more day.
I thought you did that when I walked in.
No, not yet.
That was a bigger time.
Hi, Mike. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Been a while.
Wherever you are.
I'm out here in the dark.
I actually got in because somebody was late. And so I was basically subbing. And of course they were later. And I was, you know, doing the rehearsal. So they said, hey, can you, you know, stay with us? And I said, sure. But no, I said, let me check my schedule. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, got blessed. And when we went to Japan, they said, could you do the first couple of weeks with us? I said, sure. And shortly thereafter, they said, can you do the tour? I said, let me check my schedule. And, you know, was able to be blessed and be a part of it.
Well, for the singers, it was the band had been hired a month when and just about everybody in town had auditioned. I understand about 400 people had auditioned. One of our members, who's not here tonight, Daryl Fennessy, kept calling because he had another job. He had a job on Dolly Parton's show. They wanted to offer him a 2-year contract on her new show, and so he kept calling to see if he got the audition because he would rather travel. And finally, he tricked his way into another audition. He says, why? Because he knew all the people that had auditioned. He says, how come they haven't found anybody yet? And Nelson said, well, Michael wants a group of people who are a group, who sing together, who can sing jazz, who can sing pop, who can sing rock, whatever. And so Daryl goes, well, why don't you let me bring my group in to audition? And so he said, yeah. So Daryl called me, called Sheryl Crow, he called Kevin. We got together at Daryl's house, rehearsed that morning. We rehearsed for about 4 hours that morning. Got in the car, went and got some Michael records and learned that. We had our audition at 6. And they called us at midnight and told us we had the gig.
Frank called and said, hey, Michael's thinking about a solo tour. What are you doing? And I was out on tour with another artist, and I said, when? He goes, well, call me in a couple of months. And so in June I called, and Frank said, yeah, I'm putting it together, call me in another couple of days. And I called Michael's office. There was a girl named Candy who answered, and she said, well, officially I can't tell you anything. Unofficially, you got the gig. and I screamed at the top of my lungs. It was like, you know, it was like a 16-year-old girl got her first date.
You know, it's funny, when we were in the theater watching it, Ricky was down on this end, and John was down on this end, and I was in the middle, and they kept looking at me and going, God, it's so fast, it's so tight, I can't believe it. John was like, I can't believe how tight it is. And I said, I can believe it. We rehearsed for 2 months, 7 days a week, 11 hours a day.
The bass gotta have more bottom. The bass is too bouncy. Like, need more depth. Too bouncy.
You know, you could feel the joy, like I mentioned earlier, from not only him, it translated across the band, crew, everyone.
That's not the same with every tour either.
No way.
There's a lot of tours that people are butting heads, and we still keep in touch after 25 years.
Amen.
There was a great bunch of people.
We came into that tour in 1987. Michael had been a star pretty much his whole life, and he was working like he was trying to become a star. He was working like he had something to prove.
Point, you're right.
And I mean, you know, you guys remember we rehearsed. We did 3 shows a day in those rehearsals. Every day, full on, 3 run-throughs a day.
Lights,
everything.
Wardrobe.
You know, blood, sweat. And man.
And he was ready to go, man. Still, I think he would have stayed.
Did 4 shows.
Yeah. If he could have gotten 4 or 5 shows out of us, I think he would have.
I think too there was something about the joy of him finally having a say so. I mean, it wasn't his brothers. There was no committee. There weren't 5 sets of lawyers and 5 sets of managers. Exactly. It was this is my gig. This is how I want it to be. One of the times we were on we had a private plane. I'm sitting across the aisle. You know, there are 2 seats on one side. There's an aisle. You don't remember, do you? There's 2 seats on the other. And Greg, you know, we'll have our little carry-ons. And Greg has his briefcase. And so at some point in the flight, Greg puts his suitcase in his lap. And I'm like looking, you know, I'm thinking he's going to bring out some magazines, some reading material. I don't know, a pipe, not a crack pipe. And he flips open the briefcase, and there's like 2 Baby Ruths, there's Snickers bars, there's gum, There's Butterfinger. He had a candy store. You don't remember that? Oh, dude, I can't forget it. He had it was nothing in there but his passport and a candy store.
Even today, we call each other Greg. Greg and I grew up together in Detroit from high school. Rory and I, work in different recording sessions, blah, 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 blah. But it's the relationships that came out of working that tour, and that's the greatest thing. These guys are brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying?
All of us do classes. I teach, and we all, Ricky does clinics, and one of the things, people are always asking, how do I get where you got? And the thing I always say is every single job I've ever had has come from, like what Ricky said, from a relationship. Yep. Yeah. That's not the only reason to be nice to people, but it's a really good reason to be nice to everybody you meet. So obviously, learn your craft, master your craft, and treat everybody the way you want to be treated.
I love you, London. And thank you, Your Royal Highness.
The thing that struck me about the movie is the singing was amazing, the dancing was amazing, and after one song that you thought should be the end because of the height, the level of energy, there was another one right after it, and I hate to sound like an old fogey, but you watch them today, and everything's recorded. You'll be lucky if you hear an artist sing one live song, an artist that sings and dances, and many who don't.
The quality of his music too is unbelievable for all the generations that he would reach. I mean, little kids. Yeah. I was floored. We went to Japan and we see little kids, their parents, their grandparents.
Right.
It's fantastic. We were only there for about 5 minutes.
At the end of Man in the Mirror.
It was good though, was it?
Yeah,
it was the best concert I've ever seen.
Come on.
I'm looking and I see this kid, he's 7 years old, no older, with his dad, and they both had beaded jackets on. And the kid's sitting there going, he's like 5 years old with a beaded jacket, and the dad. Yeah. So
that's an unexplainable energy.
It really is.
Really.
That was part of the magic. That was part of the mission is to make it for everybody. Make it for everybody. It wasn't black, white, purple, green, young, old. It was for everybody, and that's the way it should be. It should never be just for this group or just for that group, because what happens then, you start separating people, and we need all of us to make this thing work, as we know the planet, and if we could do that, it would be a phenomenon. It would be greater than what it is. But Michael saw that, and if you notice, most of his music was about healing things, Man in the Mirror,
bringing together.
Bringing us together, man. I mean, he had, at least 50, 60,000 people in there singing Man in the Mirror, singing the choruses of a lot of his songs. And, he was just smart like that.
Michael, we miss you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we miss
Thanks
you,
for giving us the break.
Yes.
And thanks for blessing us. And we're still together, and we're still carrying the torch, and still living the memory of your magic. And we love you.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.